I'll be making millions of dollars trading XRP. And today I'm going to be showing you guys one simple strategy I'm going to be using throughout the next few years that'll most likely be able to bring me these results with very minimal effort. I'll be documenting every single part of the journey from me investing. I just started about 12 hours ago with just, let me quickly see, $3,000. And the goal is to turn this into at least 100,000. And then on the side, I'll be doing some different investments, most likely significantly bigger, to hopefully turn into a few $1 million over the next few months or years. And the story here is not to do it as quickly as humanly possible, taking an unnecessary risk. No, the whole idea is to do it in a very controlled, easy to understand, and just linearly up way. And mostly just make it very easy for everybody to copy. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, I cannot guarantee anything, but these results that I will talk about in a second have proven themselves over the past almost 2 years. And from that angle, I think that really, I'm happy I can finally talk about it. This is just one of the easiest and best ways to make profits in trading. I will quickly say, in 48 hours, I'll pick 5 people from the comment section and give them all $20. All you gotta do is press that like button and comment something down below. That is it. In 48 hours, I'll let you know who the 5 winners were and exactly how to claim your prize. If the likes go crazy, I'll pick 10 winners, so let's see. So there's no paywall, there's no harsh truths, it's not that difficult to understand. Let's talk about it, right? What I've got in front of me is a trading bot. And whenever people hear trading bot, they either think, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world, free money, or they think that must be a scam. But let me quickly say it like this. What trading bots allow you to do is basically insert just inputs, right? You set the parameters, you set exactly what you want to trade, and all the bot does for you is, instead of it being manual, it makes it automatic. So still, an AI bot, for example, could work, but it might as well not. It just depends on what settings it uses, right? A bot does not necessarily mean profit, it just means automation. Ultimately, it's still up to the settings and whatever you insert as to what the bot should do that will decide whether you make profit or not. Anyway, from now on forward, I'll also be logging everything in a sheet so you guys can see exactly how much profit we're making, how much of a loss we're making, how the bot is doing. And I should add that I opened the bot about 12 hours ago. As you can see right here, 12 hours, 41 minutes. So we're basically on day 1 still. And you might ask yourself, Dusty, but you opened it at $2.08 and now it's $2.10. Well, that's actually where the beauty comes in. It's essentially not really fully about what price you start the bot at. It's about how much volatility there is over time. So let's quickly go through a little bit of what the bot is all about. And if you also want to join me in this journey, check out the link down below to Pionex. Now, what will happen when you press this button is it'll show you to the exchange, right? I recommend, if you're in some countries that are a little bit difficult towards crypto, that you use a VPN. And this is me. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but you also get yourself a sign-up bonus. You can insert whatever country you're from or whatever your name is. There's no KYC necessary to do any of these steps. Anybody from anywhere in the world can do it, but you might need to use a VPN if you're in a country that's very difficult. Again, there's no KYC. Even if it shows, hey, you can verify your account to get this, that, you don't have to, because I did not verify my account. They do not know who I am. Maybe I'm freaking 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗏𝗏. I don't freaking know. I will ask them to change this page, but as it currently stands, I'm going to try get every single person that signs up and just puts in a name and a country to get between $10 and $100. It's just a massive sign-up bonus that they've got right now. It's just, again, you're getting free money to hopefully do a little trade with, which could turn out to be a really, really good idea, but that's all besides the point. That's for signing up. The link to Pionex is down below. That's the exchange I'll be using for these bots, and I don't think any other exchange would work. So if you want to follow along with my journey, you got to make sure you use the link down below. And it's mostly just a one-click type of thing. I'll show you exactly how to copy the bot in a second. So again, to go over what it's supposed to do, we can see that I put $3,000 in earlier today, and that right now it's at about $80 worth of profit. Now this number does not really tell us too much. What it's already done, as you can see here, is it's made 18 transactions over the past couple of hours, as it's been buying and actually selling as well. Matter of fact here, you can see that the whole idea behind a bot like this is for it to make sure it keeps buying as the price goes down. And I've got a ton of grids in place. Again, it's a grid bot. what it's supposed to do here is as prices go down lower, it keeps buying and buying and buying and buying. And then as the prices start to go back up, it starts to sell. You can just see it on the left and right. And it also shows you how much profit you make. Now, why is volatility here beautiful? Well, the lower that the price goes before it goes back up to the same price, the more it is able to accumulate. This here, since I have so many grids, right? I have so many different buys all the way back down to like $1.40-ish. It will basically help a lot for our gains if it goes all the way back down to, for example, $1.50 or something, and then goes all the way back up to $3.40, because that's within our range. That would result in us making the most amount of profit. And again, normally you might hate yourself the moment it goes to $1.40 and then back to $2.08, because let's say we got in today into a trade at $2, right? If it goes down to $1.40, we hate ourselves. If it then goes back to $2, we're neutral because, well, we just mitigated that entire loss, but we didn't really make money. Now with this bot, the idea is the lower it goes, right? If it comes back up from that, the more money you'll make, because it'll just keep adding on the way down. There's a couple of pitfalls, which are basically your liquidation price. That's why we add extra margin so that it can actually consume a little bit of a dip. It actually depends on the amount of grids you insert, but we basically want to make sure that this liquidation price is below the buy and sell price range that we've got. But don't worry about it. I've already inserted it here. You can just for yourself play with the extra margin that you're inserting. The amount I just inputted here was just a couple $1,000s extra to make sure that whatever happens, whatever volatility comes along, we're fine. Because I do not believe the XRP price will ever go back down below $1. But hey, this strategy works so proper if you've got proper risk management. And I've actually got a little screenshot as well of one of my friends doing this with millions upon millions of dollars. You can see also on his $500,000 investment, he also added a couple $100,000 extra to make sure the Bitcoin liquidation price is 46K, because what are the chances of that ever happening, right? Rather small. So again, if you're unsure how this works, if we go back to the overview, you'll see that this looks like it's been only up. This looks really beautiful. This will most likely be up, a massive down. As prices come down, the bot will also be buying, but on a short term, it might have a realized profit, but it might actually have an unrealized massive loss. Again, looking at this picture right here, you can see the grid profits are $250,000 on this $500,000 investment, but the unrealized profit is minus $150K. That's because to make the crazy gains, there might be massive losses in the midst as it's buying on the way down. And so on a short term, these things can look really negative, but over a longer term, they've definitely proven themselves to be extremely juicy for as long as crypto does not die out. And why I'm saying that is because even if we go sideways for a long time, this is a way where you can actually make a ton of profit, even just with slight ranging like this. If it's sideways, you can still do well. I mean, just now, I opened it a few hours ago. The price started at $2.08, went down a little bit, went up a little bit, and now is back at $2.10. And you can see we've made a couple % profit where usually we probably would have not made any. Now, there's a couple buttons you might be interested in. For example, you can adjust your own margin. You can release the profits. You can take them out of the bot if you wanted to. You can see here we only got a little bit, only a few dollars, but we could take it out if we wanted to. We could add more of an investment. We could reduce the investment if we're not feeling the risk anymore. We could edit the price range. We can adjust the leverage, as I'm using only 5x leverage here to make sure it's very low risk. We could change the name. I've just changed it real quick to Dusty's XRP bot. And now here's the thing. This is bot number 1. I'll be making multiple bots throughout the next couple of days and sharing them all with you, and also tracking everything in a more detailed sheet than what I've got now. This is just because I just decided to make it here. I decided I'm going to log every single thing I do with this bot to show you guys the results over a multi-month period. And I think it's interesting if some of you guys follow along and do the exact same steps, because I'm quite confident I'm going to make this work. Again, I cannot guarantee you results, but I'm 99% confident it'll work well. But obviously, if you want to basically guarantee it will work well, all you got to do is just add a ton of extra margin and you can almost not fail. But that might also limit your gains because, well, the more money you put into safety, the less you've got for making gains, right? So that's always a balance. But I'll share the exact link for how to copy this bot in the description down below. And this is what it will look like. So I would recommend, if you want to do it step by step, go to the first link where it says make an account, right? I'll put it in the description. You click that, make an account, and then as a second step, you go to the second link down below and you copy the bot. Why? Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes you might click things in the middle. Just do it step by step. Click the first link, get yourself an account, and then click the second link to copy the bot after you've already made an account. Now, for right now, I also have a setting that only my users, only the people that are on our channel basically, can use this bot, meaning that if you did not use the first link to make an account, you cannot join. Maybe later on I'll switch this, I could definitely do that, but this is what it looks like for right now. And if you want to copy it, just press the button right here. It'll give you a little copy confirmation, and then we pop up with this, right? So just exactly shares here. You can just put in exactly how much money you'd like to insert. This auto reserve just basically puts some margin for you. Let's say you have a $5,000 bankroll here. It just basically splits it up between the actual investment and some extra margin. This is just done so you do not get liquidated. I personally think any liquidation price below like $1.40, something like that could be safe, but as long as you've got some extra money around to make sure it's below $1 in case go bad, that's most likely the best way to go about it. You don't have to click this on. You don't have to automatically do it. You could also, for example, say, hey, I want to invest $5,000. The bot estimates that if it goes below $1.60, you might be in a tough spot. So then you add some extra margin, for example, $3,000 to make sure, in this case here, my account doesn't have enough money, but let's say to make sure that the price goes down. But in this case here, if we wanted to make sure completely with almost no risk, right, you can see how much money we might need. Now, is this necessary all at once? No, you can add extra margin later. If you all remember, it was very, very simple. In your little overview, you just press detail here, for example. If we go back to the bot, there was a button here that says adjust margin or add investment, or, you know, it's all right here. So if you, for example, want to get this liquidation price down, you just press adjust margin. And you add, for example, $1,000 worth of margin extra. You can see my liquidation price goes from 95 cents to 80 cents, just making it safer. But again, you can do this later as well. Actually, something beautiful has happened. So right now we can see on the right, for some reason it was a little bit strange before, but we can see on the right now what the curve usually looks like. You can see that when I started the bot, it was instantly at a little bit of a loss. Then over time, over the next few hours, it was actually a more and more of a loss. It was at a $60 loss at that point. But then as the price started to recover, it actually got into a $30 profit. You can see that as it again was trying to buy, as prices went down lower, it was a more and more of a loss, minus 2% or so. And then at that point, you can see a few transactions later, it was at a $20 profit, then a $30 profit. Right now, it was actually at a higher profit, even somewhere in the midst, but it'll basically range like this all the time. If you have different settings you'd like, if you have different pairs you'd like, I'm going to make one for Bitcoin, probably for Ethereum, Solana, and a couple of other big coins as well. We can probably even do something like gold, because gold is going absolutely crazy right now, just to take advantage of the volatility. If there's any specific coin you'd like to see, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you put that notification bell on, as I'll be making an update on this every single day. Not a day will go by that I do not give an update on this, because I can almost guarantee to you that this is one of the easiest ways in crypto to do well. I cannot say it's risk-free, because obviously if something really, really crazy happens, it could still be a problem, just like anything in trading. So it's definitely not risk-free. But as we can see right now, the risk is very much mitigated. If you understand how it works from just my explanation right now, you're most likely set already. And just to say it one more time, there's a link down below that says trade on Pionex. Check this link out. I might make it a little different text, but check that link out to make yourself an account. And then a second link will probably be below it that says to copy the bot. So use again, first to make an account, and then you go ahead and copy the bot. Two separate steps. If you did not do it right, make a new account, use a new email or something, because otherwise you cannot use the bot. In a few days, I'll also be opening up this sheet, but I'm going to try and make a few extra bots first and then make everything copyable from this. And again, I'll also be updating this whenever I do something new to the bot, or every few days, maybe track our profit or something like that. Maybe I'll make it very extensive and put our profit of every single day in this sheet. Let's see. But actually the starting date is 22 because it's today. There we go. Yeah, I hope it's going to be a cool journey together. I know at the start, a lot of people will be skeptical, but I think over the next few months, people will see just how beautiful and profitable this can get. So I just wanted to make one video to log our start, and then most likely every month or so, I'll come back to this video, give a little update on the results, and you'll see how crazy it has been, because I'm pretty confident this will be one of the most profitable journeys ever documented on this channel. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, hopefully somewhere later today.